Segment 12. Furthermore, quoth the Buddha, Subhuti, if someone converses about this sutra, even as meager as a mere quatrain of a gatha, you should understand that this location of conversation ought to be made offerings to reverently by all worldly beings, celestial beings, and asuras, just as it is a Buddha's temple or stupa. It goes without saying that if someone can assimilate, uphold, recite, and enchant this sutra, Subhuti, you should know that this person will be fulfilling the first and foremost supreme rarest Dhamma. Wherever this sutra is situated, there will be the Buddha as well as the venerated disciples of the Buddha. Segment 13. At that time Subhuti said to the Buddha, Your world veneratedship, how would this sutra be entitled so that we can look up to and uphold it? The Buddha told Subhuti, this sutra will be called Diamond Prajna Paramita. You should uphold it by this title. Why is it so? Subhuti, the Prajna Paramita that the Buddha enunciates is non-Prajna Paramita, thus it is denominated as Prajna Paramita. Subhuti, what do you make of this? Has the thus Adventist enunciated any Dharma? Subhuti replied, Your world veneratedship, the thus Adventist, has not enunciated any. The Buddha said, Subhuti, what do you make of this? Would the molecules which constitute the 3,000 megathousand worlds be considered as numerous? Subhuti said, Very much so, your world veneratedship. Yet, Subhuti, quoth the Buddha, the molecules that the Buddha enunciates are non-molecules. Consequently, they are denominated as molecules. Likewise, the world that the Buddha enunciates is non-world. Consequently, it is denominated as world. Subhuti, what do you make of this? Could anyone perceive the thus Adventist by viewing his 32 auspicious physical features? Subhuti replied, No, your world veneratedship. One could not perceive the thus Adventist by viewing his 32 auspicious physical features. Why is it so? For the 32 features that the thus Adventist enunciates are non-appearances. Consequently, they are denominated as 32 features. Subhuti, quoth the Buddha, supposing that some virtuous men and virtuous women bestow their own physical bodies together with their lives to others for as numerous times as the sands in the Ganges. On the other hand, if someone assimilates and upholds this sutra, even as meager as a mere quatrain of a gatha, which he then relates to other people, the blissful virtues that the latter acquires is far more plenteous. Segment 14. At that juncture, Subhuti, after hearing this sutra, has deeply apprehended its significance and purport, and weeping bitter tears of sadness, he said to the Buddha, It is extraordinary, your world veneratedship. The sutra that the Buddha has just divulged is of such profundity that even though I had long acquired the sagacious eye in the past, I have never been able to be exposed to such a sutra. Your world veneratedship, if someone after hearing this sutra can engender purified belief, he will be able to realize the appearance of reality. If that be so, we would know that this man would be fulfilling the first and foremost extraordinary meritorious virtues. Your world veneratedship, the aforesaid reality is of non-reality, hence the thus advantage divulges that it is denominated as reality. Your world veneratedship, as present I am still able to hear such a sutra, and can believe, comprehend, assimilate and uphold without much difficulty. However, in the future, during the last cycle of 500 years, suppose there is some multi-being who is still able to hear this sutra with true belief, comprehension, assimilation and sustenance. This individual would surely be the most singularly unique person. Why is it so? For this person would not be fostering ego appearance, alter appearance, multi-being appearance, and lifespan appearance. How could it be so? For the ego appearance is actually non-appearance. Likewise, the alter appearance, multi-being appearance, and a lifespan appearance are all non-appearances. Wherefore is it so? For those who are freed from all appearances are to be entitled as Buddhas. The Buddha told Subhuti, quite so, quite so. Meanwhile, if someone has heard of this sutra without being appalled, terrified, or dismayed, you should be aware that such a person is utmostly rare. Why is it so? Subhuti, the supreme paramita that the thus advantaged has divulged, is non-supreme paramita, therefore it is denominated as the supreme paramita. Subhuti, the forbearance paramita that the Buddha has divulged is non-forbearance paramita. Thus it is denominated as forbearance paramita. Why is it so? Subhuti, for instance, as in my past life, while I was being incised and mangled in the body by King Kali, at that moment I was cherishing no ego appearance, alter appearance, multi-being appearance, and lifespan appearance. How would we know? For at that time, while I was being mutilated joint by joint, had I been cherishing ego appearance, alter appearance, multi-being appearance, and lifespan appearance, I should have turned hateful. Subhuti, again, as I reminisce, in the past I had been a forbearant sage for 500 lifetimes, and during all that period I had been free from ego appearance, alter appearance, multi-being appearance, and lifespan appearance. Therefore, Subhuti, a Pusa must be freed from all appearances while generating the Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi heart. He must not reside in matter while generating the heart, nor could he reside in sound, smell, taste, tactile, or Dhamma while generating the heart. He should generate the unresiding heart. Should the heart reside in any wise, it would be mal-residing. Consequently, the Buddha says that the mind of a Pusa should not reside in matter in his act of bestowing. Subhuti, for the sake of benefiting the multi-beings, a Pusa should do the bestowal in such wise. The thus advantage imparts that all and sundry appearances are non-appearances. Furthermore, he imparts that all and sundry multi-beings are non-multi-beings. Subhuti, the thus advantaged, is a truth-sayer, a veracity sayer, and a thusness sayer, and an undeceptive sayer, and an uncontradictory sayer. Subhuti, the Dhamma that the thus advantaged has fulfilled is neither substantial nor void. Subhuti, if a Purusa's mind should reside in any dharma while doing bestowals, he would be likened to someone who enters into some pitch-dark chamber, and as a result he would be unable to see anything. Contrarily, if a Purusa's mind would not reside in any dharma while doing bestowals, he would be like someone endowed with eyes, and in the meantime, by the sunlight streaming brightly in, he would be able to perceive all the multifarious objects in the room. Subhuti, in the age that is to come, if some virtuous man or virtuous woman are able to accept, uphold, read, and enchant this sutra, the thus advantaged will, by his Buddhic noesis, know all about these persons, and perceive all about these persons, in that they will all be fulfilling infinite boundless meritorious virtues. Segment 15. Subhuti, quoth the Buddha, suppose some virtuous man or virtuous woman would bestow their own physical bodies as numerous as the sands in the Ganges, dwellers during the ante-meridium, while in the noontime they would also bestow their own physical bodies as numerous as the sands in the Ganges. During the post-meridium they would still bestow their own physical bodies as numerous as the sands in the Ganges. In this wise, throughout myriads of millions and billions of kalpas time, they would have made innumerable bestowals with their physical bodies. Whereas, on the other hand, suppose someone on hearing this sutra would nurture belief in it without any defiance, his well-beings are much superior to the previous ones on this account, let alone copying and writing, assimilating and upholding, reciting and enchanting, as well as relating and expounding it to others. In fine, Subhuti, this sutra is embodied with inconceivable, ineffable, unweighable, immeasurable, but boundless meritorious virtues. It is a sutra that this thus advantaged imparts not only for those who have generated the major vehicle heart, but especially for those who have generated the supreme vehicle heart. If someone who can assimilate, uphold, recite, and enchant, and also extensively relate this to others, the thus advantaged will assuredly know all about this person, and perceive all about this person, in fact that he is bound to fulfill immeasurable, unweighable, confineless, inconceivable, meritorious virtues. Such a person as this is one that will be shouldering the loads of the thus advantaged Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. Wherefore would it be so? Subhuti, if a person takes delight in minor dharmas, he would be attached to ego views, alter views, multi-being views, and lifespan views, to the effect that he would not be able to hear, assimilate, recite, enchant, or expound this sutra to others. Subhuti, wheresoever this sutra is located, all the terrestrial beings, celestial deities, and asuras ought to make offerings over there, and you should be aware that that same locale is a stupa to which all multi-beings should reverentially pay homage, make perambulations around it, and disperse flowers and incense to it as well. Segment 16. Furthermore, Subhuti, quoth the Buddha, when some virtuous men or virtuous women are assimilating, upholding, reciting, and enchanting this sutra, and while doing so, if they should still be disparaged or spurned by others, these good people's sinful karmas derived from their past lives, which should be causing them to degenerate into the vile realms in the immediate next life, will all be obliterated, simply due to the retributions of their being disparaged and spurned by people in this life. Furthermore, these people are of a surety to attain the Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. Subhuti, as I preeminice that in the past myriads of asamkhayas of kalpas prior to lamp lighting Buddha, I was able to meet with 804,000 billion Nat-Yuta Buddhas, and that to all of them I was able to make offerings and attend upon them without frittering any time away in vain. Nevertheless, suppose someone in the future Vindicirikal can assimilate, uphold, recite, and enchant the sutra, the meritorious virtues that he will be acquiring as compared with what I had gained in making offerings to the Buddhas would be 100 times more, or 1,000 million billion times more, or even to the point of being undepictable by any numerals or similes. Subhuti, in the future, Vindicirikal, if some virtuous men or virtuous women could assimilate, uphold, recite, and enchant the sutra, the meritorious virtues to be acquired, which, if I divulge in full, and if ever some people should happen to hear it, they will of a surety go berserk, and become so vulpinely skeptical that they would never believe it for a minute. You should be aware that the imports of this sutra are inconceivable and ineffable, and as a consequence the retributional deserts are also thus inconceivable and inexpressible. Segment 17. At that juncture, Subhuti said to the Buddha, "Your world veneratedship, when virtuous men or virtuous women have generated the Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi heart, how should they reside, and how should they subjugate their own minds?" The Buddha told Subhuti, "When virtuous men or virtuous women have generated the Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi heart, they should engender such mind. I should salvage all the multi-beings into nirvana, and after having salvaged all the multi-beings, I should be aware that there was actually not even one single individual that I have ever salvaged. Why is it so? For if a pusa fosters ego appearance, alter appearance, multi-being appearance, and lifespan appearance, he would not be a pusa. What is the reason for this? Subhuti, for in reality there is no such dhamma as called the generation of Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi heart." Subhuti, what do you make of this? At the place of lamp lighting Buddha, did the disadvantaged obtain any dhamma therewith to acquire Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi? Subhuti replied, "No, your world veneratedship. If I comprehend correctly the import of what the Buddha has just imparted, at the place of lamp lighting Buddha, the Buddha did not obtain any dharma therewith to acquire Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi." The Buddha said, "Quite so, quite so. In reality there is no dhamma called the thus advantaged attaining Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. Subhuti, if ever there were a dharma called the thus advantaged obtaining Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi, the lamp lighting Buddha would not have conferred on me the prognosticative ordination by saying, 'In the future age thou shalt become a Buddha,' with the appellation of Sakyamuni, simply because in reality there was no dharma called the obtainment of Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. In consequence of that, The lamp-lighting Buddha conferred on me the prognosticative ordination by pronouncing thus, in the future age thou shalt become a Buddha, with the appellation of Sakya Muni. Wherefore is it so? The term thus advantaged denotes the import that all dharmas in reality are in the state of thusness. If someone should say that the thus advantaged has obtained Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi Subhuti, it should be known that in reality there is no Dhamma called the Buddha obtaining Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi Subhuti. In the Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi that the thus advantaged has fulfilled, it is neither substantial nor void. In consequence, the thus advantaged imparts that all dhammas are Buddhaic dharmas, Subhuti. The so-called all dharmas are not all dhammas, therefore they come to be denominated as all dharmas. Subhuti. For instance, if there is someone who is tall and huge in stature, Subhuti remarked, Your world veneratedship, the tall and huge stature that the thus advantaged refers to is no huge stature, therefore it is named as huge stature. Subhuti. Quote the Buddha, it is exactly the same with the Pusa. If he should make such a pronouncement as, I will nirvanize myriads of multi-beings, he would not have been entitled to a Pusa. Wherefore is it so? Subhuti. For there is no Dhamma named Pusa. Accordingly, the Buddha imparts that all Dhammas are devoid of ego, devoid of altar, devoid of multi-being, and devoid of lifespan. Subhuti. If a Pusa should make such proclamations as, I will majestify the Buddha world, he would not have been entitled to a Pusa. Why is it so? The majestification of the Buddha world that the thus advantaged enunciates is no majestification, therefore it is denominated as majestification. Subhuti. If a Pusa has thoroughly apprehended the Dhamma of egolessness, the thus advantaged will then pronounce that he is entitled to a genuine Pusa. Segment 18. Subhuti. Quoth the Buddha, what do you make of this? Does the thus advantaged have naked eyes? Just so, replied Subhuti. Your world veneratedship, the thus advantaged does have naked eyes. Subhuti. Quoth the Buddha, what do you make of this? Does the thus advantaged have celestial eyes? Just so, replied Subhuti. Your world veneratedship, the thus advantaged does have celestial eyes. Subhuti. Quoth the Buddha, what do you make of this? Does the thus advantaged have sagacious eyes? Just so, replied Subhuti. Your world veneratedship, the thus advantaged does have sagacious eyes. Subhuti. Quoth the Buddha, what do you make of this? Does the thus advantaged have dharmic eyes? Just so, replied the Subhuti. Your world veneratedship, the thus advantaged does have dharmic eyes. Subhuti. Quoth the Buddha, what do you make of this? Does the thus advantaged have Buddhaic eyes? Just so, replied Subhuti. Your world veneratedship, the thus advantaged does have Buddhaic eyes. Subhuti. Quoth the Buddha, what do you make of this? Does the Buddha say that all the sands in the Ganges are sands? Just so, replied Subhuti. Your world veneratedship, the thus advantaged does say that they are sands. Subhuti. Quoth the Buddha, what do you make of this? Suppose that there are the Ganges rivers, whose numbers are as many as the sands in the Ganges, and in turn, when the Buddha worlds are as many as the sands in those Ganges rivers, would these worlds be deemed as numerous? Very much so, your world veneratedship, replied Subhuti. The Buddha told Subhuti, the all and Sudrai minds of the all multi-beings in those Ganges-full sand number of Buddha worlds, and thus Adventists, perceives them all perspiciously. Why is it so? For the minds that the thus Adventists enumerates are no minds, therefore they are denominated as minds. What is the reason for this? Subhuti. For the past minds are unobtainable, the present minds are unobtainable, the future minds are unattainable. Segment 19. Subhuti, quote the Buddha, what do you make of this? Suppose someone is to make bestowals with 7 kinds of jewelries, which are so copious as to be able to abound the 3,000 megathousand worlds. Would the blisses that this person is to acquire through this act be plenteous? Just so, replied Subhuti, your world veneratedship, the bliss that this person is to acquire from this cause will be quite plenteous. Subhuti, quote the Buddha, if blissful virtues be substantial in reality, the thus advantaged would not say that the blissful virtues acquired are plenteous, due to the fact that the blissful virtues are unsubstantial. Hence the thus advantaged imparts that the blissful virtues acquired are plenteous. Segment 20. Subhuti, quote the Buddha, what do you make of this? Could the Buddha be perceived by means of his consummate physical body? Subhuti replied, no, your world veneratedship, the thus advantaged should not be perceived by means of his physical body. Why is it so? The consummate physical body that the thus advantaged enunciates is no consummate physical body, therefore it is named as the consummate physical body. Subhuti, quote the Buddha, what do you make of this? Could the thus advantaged be perceived by means of his consummate appearances? Subhuti replied, no, your world veneratedship, the thus advantaged should not be perceived by means of consummate appearances. Why is it so? The consummate appearance that the thus advantaged enumerates are not consummate, hence they are denominated as consummate appearances. Segment 21. Subhuti, quote the Buddha, never will you say that the thus advantaged makes such an ideation as, I will impart some dhammas. Do not ever make such an ideation. Why is it so? If someone says that the thus advantaged has imparted some dhammas, he is calumniating the Buddha, for this person cannot apprehend what I have divulged. Subhuti, the so-called dharma imparting, would only signify that there are no dhammas to be imparted, and as such it could be denominated as the impartation of the dharma. At that juncture, Subhuti, the sagacious life, asked the Buddha, your world veneratedship, are there going to be multi-beings in future ages who, after hearing this dhamma, could generate faith? The Buddha said, Subhuti, they are not multi-beings nor non-multi-beings. Why is it so? Subhuti, for the so-called multi-beings that they thus advantaged enunciates are non-multi-beings, thus they denominated as multi-beings.